Hello, everyone. Hi,
Hey,
Henningers.
Lonnie.
How are
Hello.
we?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Great. So I just want you to first just tell everyone a little bit about yourselves, who you are, and why you're here today.
All right. I'm Richard Henninger,
And I'm Brooke Henninger.
and I found infinite potential several years ago, but I had a really bad Achilles injury. I had torn my Achilles, and I had been through other PTs and everything, and kind of been pushed out of the program, saying you're done, and there's like nowhere else to go. And quite honestly, I was like at the rock bottom, like the lowest I've ever felt in my life, and I didn't know what to do anymore because everybody was just like, "Well, you're not going to be an athlete anymore." And being an athlete all my life is like one of those things that I couldn't accept. And luckily, I had found you, Lonnie, and we've been working together for years now, and got me back playing and dunking and doing all the things that really kind of gave me my personality in a lot of ways. So.
So dunking is part of your personality.
It's like a superpower.
Thousand
I love it.
percent.
I love it. Every year, got to do it at
Yeah.
least once. Great. And Brooke, what about you?
So I feel like our paths crossed, Lonnie, a few times for just like different like rehab things that you always helped me with. But I feel like our big relationship started when I suddenly developed low back issues. And I had always had like knee pain or different things throughout my life, but I'd never been somebody who had to worry about their back. And so that was really startling to me. I remember waking up on my 42nd birthday in January, just my back completely out, not being able to move, slowly crawling into your place. And like you did a ton to help me then. I'm pretty sure I cried because I couldn't do 42 birthday burpees. And it just was like the first time that I felt limited in my physical ability. And it was just shocking how sad I was to not be able to do burpees. But I was leaving for a girls' trip, I remember, to go to Napa. And in a matter of like 2 sessions, you like completely helped me be able to like go and get on a plane and have a great time. And then started the program with you. And I feel like we've been checking through the boxes of recover, lift, and thrive. And you really helped build my confidence back up, both in myself and my ability to just be independent in a gym space. And, build like the body that's going to be carrying me around for the back half of life. So,
I love it. I've been, you both of you, obviously, you have both unique but common experiences with pain. And it's definitely one of my favorite things to do is to help people like for the long haul. And that's that whole concept of recover, lift, and thrive. And you both have been through that and you're now thriving, which is great. Um, woo-woo. So thinking about like, before, and either of you can answer this question with your experiences, but before you found us, and I know Richard, you're probably a little bit more in this category because you were, elsewhere before, but before you found us, what was your biggest like struggle and frustration around what you were dealing with? You had obviously a significant Achilles tear, which is never fun. Um,
Yeah. For me, it was that kind of cliche PT that I was dealing with, like where he was good and it was massage and it was doing little stretches, but there was no um, like guidance towards how to be athletic or do anything that I wanted to do, like lift. And there was no like, oh, you can still be active, you can still do this. And I feel like when I started seeing you, it was like you kind of were like, no, like the gloves are off. You can do everything. Like we'll get you to that place. And it was you didn't blink. It was like, no, you will play basketball. You will do what you want to do. So I think with other PTs, it's just trying to like fix the injury and get it to a stable place, but there's no going beyond that. It's like, yeah, you can walk now. And that's kind of where I was left. I was left with, well, I could walk and like without a limp, but that wasn't where I wanted to be or like go.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very, it's like, I remember I'll never forget your story. And I like, it was That's why I do what I do. It makes me so angry because it's not rocket science and I don't know why. Well, the needle is being pushed and maybe it's just my algorithms on my Instagram. I'm noticing more PTs are doing more higher level things with people, but it's like I don't understand why there's that like I'm not an anomaly. I just follow what works and like I don't understand why things are still practiced that way. But I'm glad that you followed and trusted the process because look at you now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
jumping
Yeah.
and doing things. So
And I think it is definitely a process, but I feel like when we're working with you, it's a process that's like laid out for you. There's no guesswork. I'm not like guessing like, oh, what am I doing this week? Or it's like when you get a program and you have 5 days built in and you know exactly what to do, it just makes everything so much easier and like you feel like you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I'll add on to that. Like, I feel like you, like, obviously this is your area of expertise. Like, we trust you completely. And then you also push us to challenge ourselves. And like sometimes you want me to front squat, and I'm like, why wouldn't she possibly make me do that? And then I do it, and I'm like, oh, I am capable. And I probably wouldn't have pushed myself to do that on my own, but I think you do a really good job of finding that balance between nurturing us and challenging us, which is what we like, and it's exciting to see like where we were and then where we both individually, have gotten to.
I agree with that because I like having conversations like this because it reminds me where you started. Like I didn't forget that you had that girls trip and had your back flare up, but I forgot until right now. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then like thinking of our session last week, front squatting 95 pounds, it was or 100, I think it was. It was like challenging, but
100.
like you did it. Yeah, 100, sorry. Correct that. But and so I think my next just question and kind of going rogue a little bit, so I hope I don't throw you off, but thinking about how the like what we've built now, like do you ever see yourself like not being active again or losing that? And like how does what you're doing contribute to that thought process of staying active for perpetuity?
Yeah. So, can I give an example of you? So, Richard coaches high school basketball, and he had like a pickup game with some of his players, and I had to go pick up our kids, and I walk into the high school gym, and I'm like, "Where's Richard?" And then I realize he's running up and down the court, like with these 17, 18-year olds like playing basketball, and I was just so happy for you because like we met through basketball, like he played in college, but like not only were you playing, but like you were absolutely like dominating on the court, which I know you're super competitive. And I just thought like, wow, like 5 years ago, we weren't sure that that would be the case. And it just was such a natural thing, which I love.
yeah, and I think too, it's one of those things like working with you, you feel like you're not like now I can see like I'll never be stuck again. Like there's always a way out of whatever it is. So like I also have back things that flare up from time to time. And it'll be like, oh, my back is flared up. Let Lonnie know. And then a week later I'm mobile again instead of like 2 or 3 weeks of not being able to do anything. So it's definitely like a go-to to get a quick fix and to get the long term of like you're gonna be okay. Like and we'll get you back. So
That's
For me,
great.
oh, sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say, I did not grow up an athlete. So I only learned how much I enjoy like physical fitness and a barbell in my 30s, which was like very different than like who I was as a teenager, 20-year-old. And like my physical health and my mental health are like fully connected. And so I can't picture myself not being super active and engaged because I see the benefits both with like physically how I feel, but like mentally my level of energy and sleeping better at night and just being able to get after it. And that makes a huge difference from where I was when like I was nursing like a sore back and wasn't able to swim in a pool with my kids when we went on vacation. And like I grew up in Hawaii, like I've swam my whole life, and there were so many things that it was like affecting that I didn't realize, and like I would never go back to that.
I'm glad. And that's one of the reasons I'm glad that you both had that experience, because I didn't tell you to say that. And that's exactly that's my mission. My mission is to help people understand how to take the pain, the aches and pains and the things that pop up, and help them figure out how to fix themselves with my guidance as time goes on, and trust us to guide them when things pop up, but also keep you more resilient so they don't last as long, and then prepare you for being able to do what you want without as much of an issue, because the stronger you can be in general, the more resilient you are to having problems. But pain is going to happen. And if you don't know what to do over time, you're going to have a problem, and you're going to slip into a rut and not know what to do. So that's what we try to do, is have that be part of our program of, as long as you're, or even if you don't continue to work with us, you've now created a relationship, so you know who to contact. Because the traditional model is 8 weeks and then you're done. Good luck. And yeah, you made some progress, but it's all we got. So, but yeah, well, I'm glad that that is the case. And I was talking with my other therapist about the idea of it's so much easier when people trust the process and are in it for the long haul, not because we just want to keep them a client forever, but we're in a business of helping people. And it just so happens that it's a business, so you have to pay us to do it, but we enjoy being able to help people and teach them. And you're both a product of that. So I appreciate you trusting the process more than ever, because it makes my job easier. If someone doesn't trust what I say, I'm like, oh gosh, like, yes, I'm not going to always say the right thing and give you the exact right thing to do, but in general, I kind of know what I'm doing. So if you do the work and you let us help you, then you're going to get better. It just might take a while, which is kind of sometimes the hard part. So I guess, well, my closing question is, what do you want to tell people about your experience? And I know, as you both expressed, that you at one point you were in a significant amount of pain, and there's been flare-ups along the way, and now you are more in the performance side, and you're working on a higher level activity, and you're not really dealing with much pain anymore. So what would you want to tell people about that, your experience? Maybe someone that's on the fence about either starting physical therapy in general or working with us.
You want to go first or me?
You go first.
Okay. So I would want to tell people, well, I guess to build on what you said, Lonnie, like you created the process for a reason, because it really is meant to be like a multi-phased approach. And I do think sometimes people, like, you psych yourself out before you start something. So it's like, that's going to be long. And it's just like those building blocks are there for a reason, because it works. And like we're two people who are in like incredible amount of pain and like very limited physically, and now we compete with each other like readily on different things. So I think the process, like, you do have to trust the process, because I think it's sound and it's created for a reason. And I would also say, just like if someone is new to infinite potential, like Richard and I are very different people, different mindsets, like different things motivate us. And I think you have a menu of options that works for so many different people. Like we do completely different things with you that work for us and keep us like moving to our best physical selves. And so I encourage people to explore that with you and see like what's the best fit for them. Because what I like is it's not one size fits all. And I don't know, you have different ways of making sure people feel good about what they're doing and also are accountable. So that's my thought.
Yeah, I would just tell anybody that's like on the fence, like she's the goat in this, like the best, you're the best at it, and it's just.
Thank you. Go.
I mean, honestly, and from vulnerable, I was literally at the lowest point in my life when I found you, and I wouldn't be where I am right now if I couldn't move and couldn't like I would have had to give up coaching basketball. I would have been out of all that stuff. So it's just you give us the belief in ourselves, which is it is very different than any other PT where it's just there to get the job done. With you, it feels very personal. It's like your goal is to get up. Like if I say I want to play basketball, then that becomes your goal as well. Like so, I think that's a very unique and I've only found that with you. So thank you.
I
Well,
like that.
you're welcome. Well,
Now you're gonna have to go win a state championship to pay her
yes.
back. There's no pressure there.
No, not at all. And you have to be a good basketball coach wife too, Brooke. Remember?
I know. I tell myself this every day. See, she's such a good accountability partner. Lonnie, can we ask you a final question?
Do I have a final question?
No, can we ask you a final
You
question?
sure can.
Who's your favorite Henninger?
Layla.
No. All right. Kudos to you, Lonnie.
Yeah, that's
Well
my
played.
answer. That's my answer. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I like
It's
both of
best
you.
not to.
Yeah, I can't choose. I can't pick. I like both of you for your own unique reasons. So
Take
that's
that.
my answer.
Thank you.
And I still stand by Layla. I've only met her a couple times, but she's a force.
He is a force.
Well, thank you all for coming on. I appreciate it. And hopefully people listening got something out of it. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.